to Policy and Politics with me, Tarun Nangia. Today, we're going to discuss a very, very important issue, the issue of home buyers. And because of my guest today, I got to know some very interesting statistics which are very alarming. Uh, 35% of all stalled projects in India are from Noida and Greater Noida. And about 1,18,000 houses, apartments are yet to be delivered. So a lot of people are waiting to get their apartments. Somebody who's my guest today, Mr. Gopal Krishna Agarwal, a BJP leader, also the chief economic spokesperson of the party, has worked on this and has come out with certain solutions which he is working towards so that people can get their houses and also their problem regarding loans and interest cost can be solved. But it is for him to share with us. Good to see you and looking forward to an interesting conversation.
Namaskar, Tarunji. Because I live in Noida since 1990 and have been working in this Gautam Budh Nagar area earlier on a social platforms and since 2000 on the political side, and several problems have come to my knowledge. And one important factor that, as you have mentioned, is about the home buyers issue in Gautam Budh Nagar area. And that is one figure that I would like to quote is, it is a NROC, and it is in 2020, this report had come out, and it had said that 1,67,000 dwelling units are impacted here, which are at different stages of completion or some stalled, etc. And you look into, and when we came into the whole issue of how deep this problem is, how many people are suffering, and how it is completely creating an ecosystem where the construction industry, housing construction industry itself is facing a lot of problem. So we started with a survey, primary survey through online survey. And what we got from the responses from the people is that the total issue which confronts the people on this home buyers issue is that around 14% people are facing the problem of registration of their units, and almost 67% of the respondents say that their project is stalled, that nothing is happening, no construction activity is happening. They have paid their hard-earned money into the to the developers, and the developers are not at all paying any coming out with any new construction activity, etc. And that project is completely stalled. So basic important problems that we have identified on this issue is that there is a problem. It is a complex issue. There are 3-4 important problems that people are facing. One is those people who have got the possession of the land, their houses, but their houses have not been registered with the Noida authority and their ownership is not established. This is one part. Second is many people are living in these apartments. They've got the possession, but because the developers have not cleared their dues with the authorities, authorities are not giving the occupancy certificate or completion certificate to the developer, and therefore even if those people who have got the houses and they are living inside there, they don't have occupancy certificate or completion certificate, and that problem is about around 7 to 8%. So occupancy certificate is one issue where the home buyers itself are not at any fault. They have made their payment, they have got the possession of the house, but the developer has not made his dues clear with the authorities, and therefore they are not getting their houses registered in their names. This is one major portion of the problem. And the second is there is complete stop. Many of the housing projects are stalled. So these are important problems. And the second important factor in our white paper that we had brought about after a deep study of all the surveys, etc., is that we have given this pie chart, where we have done the analysis of the responses on the white paper. Then the second is, what is the genesis of this problem? That's very important. How this problem started, why this problem is lingering on, and why it is not getting solved now, is because it's a legacy issue. Before we came to power in 2017 in Uttar Pradesh, the issue was the Noida Authority had been allotting land to the developers on installment payment on lease. That is the basic genesis of the problem. That's very important for us to understand, so that we work on the solution. I'm not only will be talking about the problem, but everybody need to get into the depth of what is the genesis of the problem, and then only we will come about what is the solution to the problem. The genesis is that when the land was allotted to the developers in around before 2017, in around between 2006 to 2014-15, was that land was allotted on lease basis, on installment, where the authority had an agreement or signed the MOU with the developer that unless they make the full payment, the ownership will not be transferred. And the payment was made into installment. What happened later on, that on the same land, the developers got bank financing for project construction of the project. So they did not have the ownership fully transferred to them, to the developers, but still they were able to get finance from the banking on the security of the land. And the third problem was, on the same project, the home buyers, the developers sold the houses to the home buyers, about promising them houses on installment payment, and the home buyers themselves took home loans from the institution, financial institution, bank, etc., and made installment payment to the developers. So the same project, where the full payment of the land was not given to the authority by the developers, got finance from the banks also, and the third financing took place on basis of home buyers side, and ultimately many of the developers siphoned off their fund to other things, and they did not construct the project which was promised. And this is a whole issue before RERA came into existence. So it is a legacy issue. The project getting financed multiple times on the same piece of land from the banks, getting money from the home buyers on installment for buying of the houses. The home buyers itself got stuck into this whole project because they took loans from the financial institutions and they continue to pay interest and EMI to the banks, but still they have not got the possession of their houses, and they don't know when the houses will be constructed. The construction has stopped. And when the developers did not pay to the authority the installment money which was due at that point of time, authorities started levying penalties and hefty interest on them. So the whole project got derailed with huge liabilities on each project. So this is a complex problem. That is the genesis of the problem, that allotment of land on lease, on installment, and for financing by the banks, and the third financing by the home buyers, paying to the developer, and many of the scrupulous developers siphoning off this fund to the other projects. So this has complicated the issue, and now home buyers in a difficult situation. We want to resolve it. We are committed to resolve it, and several buyers have gone into the court to fight out their cases. Some projects have also gone into IBC. though some projects and some home buyers are getting benefited out of the court decisions or through IBC, like Logix and UAP Wishtown, and Amrapali case is being handled by the court, but majority of home buyers are not finding any resolution to their
But since this white paper, you have suggested possible solutions, and there are 1 lakh home buyers who want the solution because they are waiting for delivery of flats. What are the solutions from two ends? From the state government's end, what solutions have you suggested? And from some changes that need to be made, what solutions? So first from the states and then from the other steps that you have suggested. If you can point by point share everything.
So I think, as I've said, the genesis of the problem we have said. Now there are multiple stakeholders is one part, but on the side of regulations or on the side of resolution, the issue has to be tackled at the state level, state government level. The issue has to be tackled at the banking level. The issue has to be tackled at the authorities, Noida, Greater Noida, and Yamuna Expressway authorities level, and at the same time, the issue central government is also required to come out with certain. It's a combined effort that will have to come for the resolution of this problem. The central government has taken several steps through creation of the Swami Fund, which will give financing to the stall project or new developers who will come out for resolving this issue. Under the Swami Fund, central government has made provision for the new projects to take up project to restart construction. And under the IBC also, certain amendments have been done by the central government and the Ministry of Finance and other, where their amendment earlier home buyers were not part of this committee of creditors under the IBC. In 2015-16, central government amended. We also took up this matter that home buyers who are an important stakeholders in the project, they should be part of the decision-making process of any resolution process for this complicated issues. So home buyers were made through the amendment into the IBC as one of the stakeholders, and they were empowered to be part of the decision making for resolution process in being made part of the committee of creditors, which take all the decision about the resolution. So amendment to IBC was done in 2015-16. Secondly, Swami Fund was established with a corpus of 25,000 crores. And at the same time, central government also set up a committee under the leadership of Shri Amitabh Kant, which has suggested some of the solutions about amendment into IBC or what the state government should do. But the comprehensive solution, and they have suggested about resolution of registration of the home buyers, but that is only of 14% as per our survey responses, that the problem is there for the registration of the houses. But majority of problem is about the stall project, and that includes about 65 to 70%. Our white paper focuses on resolution of these stall projects, and we have suggested, because under IBC, the total project about one company is considered together. But what happens in this home buyers issues is single company has taken up multiple projects, and in the same project also there are multiple towers. So, and the different towers or different projects are at a different status of different level of completion. So you cannot complete together and come out with a unique solution for the whole company. We have suggested that each project individual project of the developers has to be separately dealt with because it is a separate problem of that individual project. We have suggested that even in IBC, it is getting clogged up because of this complexity of the whole issue. It is getting clogged up in NCLT, and even new buyers are not there because the project is not viable. Unless you make the project viable, unless you make the project feasible, then only some new developers will step in and to take the change the ownership of this project and come out with the start reconstruction of the work. At the same time, he will also need funding from the bank, because the banks will not fund a project which is already gone NPA. So these are the issues that we have tackled in our white paper. We have suggested that the state government should appoint individual administrator for individual project, not for companies, as is being done in the IBC. Individual project of one builder, if he has 5 projects, there can be different people appointed as administrator for individual project. The responsibility of that individual person will be to make all the list of debtors and creditors as in IBC. Whatever person has paid, what is due to him, what is the money that the company has to get out of it, he make a list of that individual assets, this debtors and creditors, and analyze and value their actual money that is to be paid to them or to be received from that. Secondly, he has to also go for valuation of individual assets, those belong to that project, because the valuation has to be at the current level. Book value will be different, but what is the current marketable value of the assets that belongs to the company have also to be listed. So assets, liabilities, debtors, creditors, together the current status of valuation of that individual product have to be made listed by the administrator. Then we will know the actual value of the project. The second thing is there is huge liability from the authorities' side because of heavy penalties that have been levied and heavy interest that has been charged on non-payment of installment. Somewhere down the line, this liability will have to be reduced by the state government, because these hefty penalties and this compound interest is not at all receivable, payable by, is not feasible that the developer will be able to pay them. So ultimately, what I think, what I understand is that the liability of the authorities have to be reduced through issues like giving moratorium for the developers for period that this project has stalled. One thing. Second thing is compound interest or hefty interest rate that is being charged has to be reduced, and the authorities should only claim the principal amount. The claim of authorities has to be restricted to the principal amount. And at the same time, the additional land bank that is available in the each project, that surrender policy has to be announced by the state government. The excess land which is remaining with the individual developers company, that they can surrender where there is no construction, only land bank is there, excess land bank, that has to be surrendered by the company to the authority. They can take back that excess land, and the initial payment, whatever quantum of payment that the developer has made to the authority, according to that, that portion of land can be allotted only, and remaining excess land can be taken back by the authority at the original date and original cost. So that will reduce the principal repayment. So I think I'm making my point clear. The authority's liability to the developer has to be reduced to the principal amount. Penalties and the penalties have to be done away with through giving moratorium period for the non-completion of the project by the state government, extending the moratorium period as was done during the COVID period, that if the project is not complete there or not payment has not been made, penalties are not to be levied. The rate of interest has to be simple and lower rate of interest. That and the companies should be allowed to surrender the excess land bank with them where there is no construction has taken place to the authorities at the original rate, at the original price. That will reduce the liability to the authority to a great extent. And after this, when the developer when the developer will when the administrator will list out the assets and liabilities and debtors and creditors, then we will know what is the actual value of the current status of the project. Then the haircut will be finally decided. Ultimately, RBI will also have to look into the way that these NPAs, how to tackle this NPA, because the money has been lost, the money has been diverted. Some of the developers have siphoned off the money, so the money will not be recovered from that. Therefore, there has to be a decision on the haircut once this, and the administrator will also have to analyze what is the requirement of future construction, for what is the fund requirement for the future construction, what is the payment that is due from the home buyers, balance of their installment or balance of their cost that has been they have not made the payment. So that will create the funding requirement that will also be analyzed at the administrative level. So I think this is way after that the solution will come through the joint decision of the central government, state government, and then the new developer will come. I'll give you one simple example to clarify my thing is, suppose authority has allotted to a developer a land bank for 10,000 crores. And it is in installment of 1,000 crores for 10 years. Every year, the land has the developer has to pay to the authority. Suppose the developer has made payment for 4 installment of 4,000 crores. The balance 6,000 crores is pending on his side to be paid to the authority. And so the authority is at presently levying penalty for non-payment, delay payment, interest on 6,000 crores, etc. The huge amount of liability has accumulated on part of the developer to the authority. This is one issue. The developer, after taking this land on installment, has gone to a bank that I want to develop on this land a project for construction of houses. And he has taken a loan of 5,000 crores from the bank. And similarly, he has sold houses to the individual home buyers, and for individual unit for 50 lakh, 25 lakh, 40 lakh different, and they have been asked to make installment payment. So the thing is, now he has siphoned off the money. Some construction he has done. He has utilized only 40% of the land for construction. Balance 60% is not under construction, and it is lying as a land bank with the developer. What the authority can do is, they can take back the 60% land which is lying unutilized at the original price. So the developer will have only 40% of the land for where he has started some construction activities, and the liability, his liability to the authority will be reduced by 6,000 crore because 60% land he has surrendered. So one-time surrender policy is also required. Moratorium on delayed payment is also required, and simple interest rate at a lower interest rate is required from the authority side of thing, and the administrator will make all these assets and liabilities and further decide about what is the future money required, which can be funded from the Swami Fund, because Swami Fund is specifically says that those projects which are stalled, they will be financed through the Swami Fund. So
I want to know that this surrender, which is the most important component of the plan you are suggesting, this is a window, or now this should be in perpetuity, that in the coming 2-3 years, any builder who feels he can't complete, has no money, can surrender. It should be a policy in perpetuity. Second, do you think the authority will also benefit in this, because they can re-auction this land to builders who can now build new projects on that excess land which has been surrendered?
yes, that's very important, because the construction industry in Gautam Buddha Nagar, particularly housing, and this is the same type of problems is taking place in other areas, some in Gurgaon, in Bombay, etc. But what happens is that if the construction industry restarts, one thing is people will have their houses, the construction industry itself will revive the real estate sector. It will also revive the construction industries. It will generate employment, and at least the money which is completely lying, neither the Noida, neither the authority is getting any money out of it or benefit out of it, neither the banks are getting any money out of it. So if this project, if these project restarts, the Noida authority will, whatever money they will get, at least the excess land bank they get back from the developer, which is lying unused. They can sell and make profit out of it. Current rates are quite high. They will recover their money. The bank, whatever money, ultimately, major portion may be NPA, but there is some money which is stuck. They will also get that money back from the new developer, and new developer will come. The people will also start paying the balance installment. The home buyers who have stopped paying their installment to the developer because they are not sure ki anything, when the construction has stopped, they are also not paying anything to the developer. They will also, when a new developer and the whole scheme, a plan which is designed by the administrator, that can be professional, and I suggest that different administrators should be appointed for different projects, not only one, because it's a huge work. It can be not be done by individual or some group of people. Different professionals, different administrator have to be appointed on a fees basis. They will do the work, and once they give a plan of revival, identifying the liabilities to the authority, identifying the money lost, identifying the balance money recoverable from the home buyers, or balance new fund requirement for the construction activity. This plan can be approved by the state government. Once this plan is approved, banks will act on their part, Noida authority will act on their part, home buyers will act on their part, and central government will act on their part of funding, etc. And the new agencies which come for revival of the project, they will get work, and construction and industry will revive. Home buyers, housing issues will be resolved. And if in 2020 this problem was 1,67,000 units, and at least 4 or 5 people are individually affected by one house. See how much around 8 to 10 lakh people are affected by this issue. So this is the way I think we can move forward. This plan has to approve by the state government, and if this is implemented, lot of employment generation, construction activity, revival of the real estate, home buyers getting benefited, authorities getting their money back, banks are recovering whatever best they can recover out of that project, and the issue which is for the middle income people, their dream money that has been stuck. They are paying EMI and living in a different house, paying on rent. Those problems will be resolved. So we go into step by step. Start with the registration, as has been suggested by Amitabh committee's report. Come out through the issues of Amrapali has been given a roadmap by the court that is also similar to that Amrapali issues can be resolved through that time. Certain project like Logics and JHP Town are resolved through the IBC, and this is the balance which are complicated problems that can be resolved through this roadmap that I have suggested.
Thank you. Thank you for suggesting. I think 1 lakh home buyers will thank you for this initiative that you have.
1,67,000.
1,67,000. They will all thank you if this
Dwelling
can be
units
achieved,
and home buyers are approximately 8 to 10 lakhs.
8 to 10 lakhs.
Yeah, dwelling 1,67,000 are the dwelling units, estimated dwelling units in Gautam Budh Nagar alone.
So that it's a huge number. They will all thank you for taking this initiative, and at least they will get a direction of how to get their homes, and maybe they will because of this plan that you have made. We would like to do one more show on this issue soon as you get the things moving, where we'll discuss further what has been achieved and what you are now going forward. Because a lot of people will like to know what you're doing on a day-to-day basis on this issue. It was a pleasure.
Tarunji, I would also like to say that this people, because it's a complicated issue, and at times it is not possible to only come with comprehensive analysis of the problem in the show. Definitely, I appreciate your second episode also. But I would also like this white paper, which is in the public domain, people should go in through this. I have discussed with various authorities, UP government, central government, all the people who matter in this matter, and they have appreciated the effort, the resolution process that has been mentioned in this. I have also analyzed around 12 to 30 court cases are also given, decision of the court, which also can contribute to the solution to the problem. I have analyzed many of the court cases. Out of that 12 court cases decisions I have listed here, which also will help the government to take decisions, because already several court have given their verdict, which will help into this process of solution. Even the existing laws about there are existing laws in the Uttar Pradesh which apartment owners act, and then there is a act of these even RERA is giving solution for the future, but this IBC also giving solutions. So we have to look into all these issues, and even IBBI has come out with a discussion paper where it has suggested certain amendment. We are also have agreed those amendments are good. They are saying that existing dwelling units which are in possession of the people and people are living into that should not form part of the IBC process. They have to be left out of it. So they have put it as a discussion paper. I think we have given suggestion. We are suggesting that is also a nice, that is also an important decision that also should be taken care in the IBC Amendment Act. So I think these are important issues. People should go into this paper and they will find solution to the problem.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing all of this, and looking forward to hear you more in the follow-up show on this issue. A lot of home buyers will be interested to know, and I'm sure with your efforts, there will be a solution to this issue. Thank you so much for sharing all these things with us. Appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.